3 hours later.
Hey beauties, welcome back again. So today I'm going to show you how to refresh your overnight makeup. So the story is, I created this makeup look for her the previous day for her photo shoot, but she had another photo shoot early in the morning, and she is not a morning person, neither am I, by the way, but I do not mind waking up early for a makeup on a client, okay? Anyway, to prevent her from waking up too early, she decided to sleep with the makeup and come very early in the morning so I can freshen it up and she can look all fresh and ready for the next shoot. So as you saw in the beginning of the video, I first rehydrated her face again because that would help the makeup melt together and make it easier to blend. So after that, I went in with a beauty blender to kind of blend and mesh everything together. Then I decided to go in with a little bit more foundation to kind of blend everything together and match it together, but also to kind of fill in certain spots that were visible because of her sleeping with the makeup. Now, of course, when applying makeup, you should not forget to blend it down to your neck because it is part of your body, okay? Not only to your neck, but also to your chest area. And if you are going to wear a hairstyle that is an updo, also make sure to blend it down to your ears as well. Anyways, after blending it down on her cheek, I made sure to kind of go over everything, every space that I was seeing, from her chin, her cheeks, to her forehead, to her neck, and down to her chest area. I love to make sure everything is perfectly blended. Also, because the dress she was wearing had a low décolleté, so it was only right to make sure that everything was nice, smooth, and blended and cohesive all together. You know, when doing makeup, you shouldn't rush certain things because if you want it to appear perfect in real life and in pictures, you have to take your time, okay? You cannot rush perfection. That is a motto I live by, and I make sure to take my time for my clients because yes, you can do a rush job, but if I'm not in a rush, then I'm just going to take my time. You're creating a masterpiece on a perfect canvas, so make sure to take your time, use all the right techniques that will enhance the beauty of the canvas, which in this case is this beautiful client you see here. I must say I was happy that the makeup from the previous day was still sitting well, especially the brows and the eyes. But anyways, back to the makeup. After I blended the foundation, I went back in with a powder, setting powder under the eyes, and then I went in with some more blush to kind of bring it all back out again, because at this point I felt like, okay, it was looking a little bit flat again. And if you know makeup well in photography, you will know that blush is the first thing that will disappear in pictures. So sometimes you have to put a little bit more if you want it to be visible in pictures, and that is why I went in with a little bit more. Nothing too overpowering, but just to make sure that it all looked good. And then I went in with the Juvia's Place bronzer. I didn't want it to be too dark, but I kind of matched it with a blush, the Moira blush that I was using, and that is a kind of ombre blush. So imagine these two products kind of made it beautiful, and not only that, but it made it all flow together as it should. After that, I went in with a HD finishing powder to make sure everything was set, and that was a powder that was her skin tone. Now, after setting her face with that, I made sure to go back in with a setting spray to kind of melt everything together. And then whilst that was setting, I went back in with a brightening powder, just a little bit under the eyes to kind of lift it up because I still wanted her to look cute, okay? Okay, so after brightening the under eyes, you know it is time for the lips. Now, when it came to the lips, I thought, okay, we need to create a lip look that will match the whole outfit, the makeup, and everything. So I decided to create this plum ombre lip look, and first went in with this plum lip liner. I think it's from Maybelline, I'm not entirely sure, but I will recheck and put it in the description. In order to make the lip stay longer or the lip liner last longer, I kind of dipped it into the Duraline by Inglot before I went ahead and applied it on her lips. Okay, so as I was creating the lips, I was wondering, shall I do a matte lip or a glossy lip? So I went in with a lime crime lipstick, which was kind of the same color as the lip liner I had used, and it perfectly matched her dress. It was a similar color to her dress. And honey, I must say, when I applied this and I looked at it, I was like, this looks pretty good already, right? Like the color, we could have left it like that. I mean, look at this. It looked perfect. But then I was like, nah, I'm still gonna go for the ombre look. So I went ahead and applied a lighter color to the middle of it, made sure to blend it out. And also, whilst I was creating it, I was like, matte would look good, but glossy would look even better in pictures. Anyways, back to the main thing. After I blended this one out, I went over it with a lighter lipstick to kind of make the ombre effect really visible, and also to make it really stand out. And as you can see, it looked absolutely beautiful. We could have stopped here, we could have. However, remember, I was going for a glossy look, and look at this. I mean, this was beautiful, matched the dress, the makeup and everything, but I left it there. And then after the whole thing, I went over it with a lip gloss. I made sure to put on some highlighter again, you know, to give you that glowy spot on the cheeks, and then make sure to blend her décolleté. This is the Sol de Janeiro Glow. I absolutely love how this smells and goes and looks on your body. And to make it last longer, I applied some of this fixing spray on top of it. And you know, if you book with Maggie, you're gonna get the whole treatment. So I made sure her hands, her arms, legs and everything was hydrated to look nice and not ashy on the pictures. And look at that. I mean, do you see the lip gloss? Do you see the face? Do you see the bead? I mean, tell me, did she eat or did she eat? She is definitely a queen. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.